That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right.
Do it again. Whoop. Ah, fuck. And like it. That's way too many likes. I gotta comment on a channel. Fuck. Oh. Yeah. That should probably do. That should probably do.
I thought you were going to play that at the end.
Oh, no.
All right.
Bro.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. That was Brett trying to do an outro the other day. How many takes did that take?
Too many.
Mine
Sure. I did this on my desktop. all my other bloopers are on my laptop. So who knows? I could have another one in line.
I'm such a pro. I did my outro in one take, so there's not a blooper reel.
I never do the outros. That's the problem.
I know. But hey, thanks for everybody who will eventually come on and watch this show. This is the Straight Red Card, and we're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. But I did want to start, Brett, before we get into Jesse Marsch to Leeds, which is really exciting for most. I think for most. But I watched Billy Idol's original version of Eyes Without a Face last night on my headphones, kind of stoned. And I was like, man, this song is really, really good. It's really good. I can't believe I didn't think it was even better back when I was young. I liked it back then, but it was just another pop song. But it holds up. It totally holds up right now. So if
I would have been impressed if you said I was watching it sober. The adding the a little stoned, I think, is just sort of like saying, "Hey, water's wet."
No, dude. See, that's the thing about being stoned. Sometimes it makes bad music even worse, but it makes really good music even better. So there's that balance you've got to find. But there's certain songs from the 80s that are always going to suck. And that's just the way it is. So I guess we'll get to Jesse Marsch, man, because that's a huge news out right now.
Yeah, Jake, we're going to get to that real quick.
We are. So it's been rumored for a while, and I went and read some English press, Leeds News.uk. whatever, and .com, and they seem cynical, but not negative, right? Not negative. Like the papers are saying, well, here's what he's done in the past. He's been at Salzburg. He's been at Leipzig. He's not a butt muncher. He's not some turd. He's not, who's the guy? The guy from the series. Everybody compares the guys to.
Oh,
Ted Lasso.
You're like, who's the guy? The guy in that series. And like,
God damn it, I know Ted Lasso. So no one's compared him to Ted Lasso yet.
Yeah.
But I did watch the big Best Soccer show with Jason Davis and the other dude. And the other dude, I think his name is Jesse, said, "Don't do it. Don't do it, Jesse.
Do it.
He said, hey, man, you got to be careful and risk averse." Okay, yeah, but it's not like Leeds really is a bottom three team, right? I mean, I know they're near the bottom, and that's a threat. But I think Jesse will get them out of the bottom three. Keep them out of the bottom three. Now they're behind 2 games, right? They're 2 games less, and they're only like 2 points up. So, yeah, that's an issue. It's an issue.
Let's just take a quick look. They have 2 games in hand against Watford and Norwich, but Burnley also has 2 games in hand. And they're only 1 point up off of relegation.
Yes. So, yeah, could they be in relegation soon? Yep. But I have to say, if you look at the roster and compare the rosters of Burnley, Watford, and Norwich City with Leeds, Leeds is just, I know it's paper. Paper doesn't count, but it's a better team, a better group of players. And the
I was watching the ESPN clip on it, and the guy's like, "Well, he speaks better English, so maybe he can actually transcribe the thought process over to the team a little bit better."
Yeah, Bielsa does not speak any English, and he's never made any attempt to speak English, and he doesn't care. And it's going to be very much a different kind of management. People are going to notice that on the team. I'm sure they've already noticed it because Jesse met the team today, and they had a big event, and he hung out with all the players and kind of made his general proclamation. But Bielsa's very he doesn't get close to the player. He's not hey, you did a good job. Way to go. You're my man. Whereas Jesse Marsch is a really kind of up in your face guy. Like, he wants to talk and converse. He wants to have conversations one-on-one or with the whole group.
Those halftime motivational speeches get me motivated.
Man, it's going to be a different experience from them. And just watching the video today, the Leeds footage of it, I was like, yeah, these players are really kind of happy to see this guy. They seem like they're starving for something different right now. And I think management figured that out too, and just didn't see this going in the right direction going forward, even though Bielsa's he's going to be a Leeds legend, dude. Mm-hmm. He brought them up from the championship and he kept them in, the Premier League last season. That makes you a legend. So it's kind of like what Wagner did with, was it Huddersfield? God, my memory sucks. I hope I'm right. Anyhow, I mean, he's considered a legend because he did that. Whenever you can bring a team up and keep them up at least a couple seasons or one season in the Premier League, you're a legend.
Yeah, and I don't. That's basically what the guys on ESPN were saying, and they compared him. And I don't know enough history about the EPL. I don't follow it except for American teams, but he compared him to the Newcastle coach back in the '90s or whatever. Just like a fan favorite legend. I forget. Not going to remember the name by any means.
Oh man, you just pulled that out of the bag.
Well,
I know who you're talking about, though. Yeah, god damn.
Again, never would have known anything about this guy unless I watched that video. So, and I still don't know anything about him outside the fact that he's a legend of Newcastle.
But it's not going to be a major transition for the team because they already kind of play this. Well, the difference is they both kind of press. The difference is Bielsa's press is more of a man-marking press, whereas Jesse's is zonal. So that'll be a change, and they're going to have to work on that because that's not an easy. If you've been doing man-to-man ball like Bielsa does, like that's my guy, and I follow him all over the field no matter where he goes, then yeah, that's not the same kind of press Jesse plays. So, and there are a lot of
how many teams out there actually play man-to-man ball?
Just Bielsa.
Seriously,
it's very odd.
Before, so.
Yeah,
I don't know if it will necessarily be that hard of a transition. I wager that most of those players have probably grew up playing very similar, like just not zonal, but like positional marking.
More, yeah, but the gegenpress, which it's making a comeback with certain teams, and so those teams know it well. Leipzig, Salzburg, New York Red Bulls to some extent, all of them to some extent. Because they've done it and they've not done it. But as we mentioned with Williamson's discussion of Berhalter, it also uses a lot of cues. So that makes it really kind of interesting because you got to know those cues. And the striker's got to understand when to make that move to press. And then if he does, everyone's got to follow. So
I was going to crack a joke about how they're English. Most of them are English, and I'm sure they know Q well enough from the James Bond series. There we go.
Oh.
It would have landed a lot better if I didn't fuck it up.
Well, that's all right.
It is what it is.
But I think you're right. The team is mostly English, correct?
Yeah. I'm sure they got, obviously, I guarantee they have other nationalities there, but yeah. I would wager a bulk of them are. I mean, it's not like they're the top 4, top 5 teams in EPL where there may not necessarily be as many starting English players, although they do have their fair share.
Most are English, but not by much. Unless you want to count Scottish people and Welsh people as not English too, then it gets a little better. But they do have players from Holland and Norway, Spain, Rodrigo, of course.
Bob Alex just mentioned that.
Yep, Robin Koch from Germany, Junior. So yeah, they do have some foreign players too. So I mean, but they have a lot of sort of more domestic English. I got a guy from Northern Ireland, Stuart Dallas. Anyhow, the point being that it's still a very diverse team, but I think they're all going to be fine because they all speak English to some extent. So, like, Jesse's not going to have to learn German like he did when he went to Austria, which he did a really good job at, by the way.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, the halftime motivational speeches when he was giving them, it was like half in German and half in English. I think the transition between the two actually added to the motivation aspect of it.
It's funny. It's one thing. It's funny. It's one thing to speak German. It's another thing to be frustrated and angry and yell in German. Like if you're going to do that, you better be precise with your words. So, do we have any? Better Benjamin. Thank you, Benjamin Walker. Better to coach mediocre team in EPL or good team in Bundesliga. Well, he just did coach a good team in Bundesliga. They're now in fourth place since he left, which is, I mean, they've moved up 6 or 7 spots in the table since Jesse left. So, ouch.
I think there's a lot more expectations on a good team in Bundesliga than there is a mediocre team in EPL, obviously. Jumping back to that here in a second, but I did recently find out, and I was not made aware of this because I guess I don't travel the tabloids very well. But I guess Jesse's wife had breast cancer. Was diagnosed like right when he was about to take the job, but they found out that it was like curable. So then he took the job. I feel like that must. I mean, I'm not using this as an out by any means. I mean, he definitely didn't get the team in order, but I'm sure that played a factor in weighing him down somewhat. But as a whole,
it might have weighed him down. I think the big issue is when he was at Leipzig, he went there to play Red Bull ball.
We talked about this, yeah.
Yeah, and then they said, well, Red Bull ball isn't working. And he said, well, Red Bull ball takes a while to work. And you guys haven't been playing it for a season, so it's going to take a while. Give me some time. And they're like, well, can't you just do more like the old guy did? He was doing well. And Jesse's like, I know this is the way I want to play. So I guess we have irreconcilable differences, and let's just part separate ways. And they said, okay. And that was it. It was over. Yeah.
And so back to the expectations behind a mediocre team in EPL. Let's say worst case scenario, and Marsch does not keep Leeds out of relegation zone. I'm hoping Leeds is willing enough to continue on with him coaching in Championship in hopes that they come back stronger the following season. Then rather than having another Bob Bradley incident. I guess the difference between Bob Bradley and Marsch in this situation is Bob had the team Swansea from the beginning and got shit canned because of how bad they were doing. Whereas Marsch is entering halfway through a season already at relegation zone.
Is that correct? I thought Bob took over after a handful of games. Yes. Because he was coaching in France at the time in a Ligue 2 team. And he had to leave that team to join this team, I think, in the middle of the season. So my memory could be shit, folks. So if I'm wrong, let me know. 79% of Leeds fans said they were on board with Marsch. Well, that is really nice to know. I don't know where this poll's from, Bob.
I was going to say 85% of stats are 100% accurate. So
is that, Bob? Did you do that survey yourself?
I'm guessing just Twitter and maybe Leeds boards, and predominantly more favorable than not.
I'm sure some Leeds board put up a survey, so I'm sure Bob's right, but I haven't seen that survey, but it is nice and refreshing to see. So Twitter. Okay. All right. And those are Leeds fans. Are they American Leeds fans? Or are they Leeds fans?
Or are they new Leeds fans?
Which they just became Leeds fans last night, so. But if the number is that high, and I don't suspect it could quite be that high, because there's always a bit of snobbery on that.
Yeah, it's 21%.
Yeah, I think there's more than that, honestly. And that's nothing against my English friends. Bob Bradley gets effed in the ass at Swansea. Yeah. Swans, as you spelled it. Swans. The Swans. Yeah, he did. Bob Bradley got screwed early, and that's too bad. Works
69% of the time it works all the time. That
like
doesn't make any sense.
Yogi Berra-ism there. God, I hope people know who Yogi Berra is. If they don't, Brett, do you know who Yogi Berra is?
Yes, I know who Yogi Berra is.
Okay, good. Just I thought.
Hey,
okay,
boo-boo.
no, not
Yogi
the Bear.
Yogi the Bear.
Yogi Berra.
No, Yogi the Bear. You said
the
Yogi
catcher
the Bear.
from the New York Yankees. He used to
You
make
said
things.
Yogi the Bear.
I don't want to be a part of a club that. I don't want to be a part of any club that would have a member like. Did you hear that? I don't want to be a part of a club that would have a member like me. Chris Gary. Thanks, Chris. Who would you rather stay up, Norwich or Leeds?
Yes.
Oh, God, you make me. That's a rough one. For the future of American coaching, Leeds. Norwich, that won't really hurt Josh Sargent that much if he goes down and plays a year in the championship. He needs
It could help. It could help him out, in all honesty.
It could.
So
he could start scoring goals by the bushel like DK did last time.
Don't get me wrong. I want both to stay up, but
I did see another English guy called Daryl Dyke again today. I'm like,
phonetically, he's right.
Yeah, but I guess does DK need to put an umlaut or one of those little slashy thingies over his E at the end so it's DK? Or just respell your name. Does this move get Aaronson to Leeds? I don't think there's a guarantee of that anyhow.
So all the punditries over the seas are basically saying that Leeds are still in the forefront for Aaronson's services.
They want him.
So as long as they stay up and they bid high enough, I would imagine. But this interest happened before Marsch got there. It could only definitely help to have him there with Marsch there because they know each other pretty well.
And the other thing being that there are German teams that want him as well. And Leipzig are going to lose some players as they always do during the next window, offensive players. We'll probably see other suitors in Germany, would be my guess. So I think Aaronson could move. Listen, the Italy thing, Aaronson to AC Milan, I'm not sure about AC Milan. I mean, I might take a team.
He would do well in Serie A, but
he would.
Yeah,
he really would, and he might do well for Serie A. It's just that AC Milan that I just see that and I think, oh yeah, remember Gooch when he went to AC Milan? That wasn't such a good thing, was it? And so maybe it's a little bias on my part. The big clubs, big clubs scared me. And McKennie,
there you go.
When he went to Juventus.
If the big clubs concern you, how about this one?
Oh, man, Chris. Watching Hoppy ride Pine again this weekend, devastating. I mean, I know he's devastated. Let me just put it that way. I actually know he is. Right now, he's very frustrated. And he wants to play really bad. And they're just not putting him on the field. And I don't know why not, because they're not very good at scoring goals. So they might want to think about it.
Yeah, Daniel, Juve's not having the best season by any means. But quite frankly, they are now up into Champions League position. Who would have thought? And they were sitting like 7 or 8 points out of first. So
yeah, McKennie helped them get there before his injury. Hopefully they don't fall because they trade Benacore and then McKennie goes down. It's like, they just lost to, guys they usually would play on some sort of rotation or regular basis. So, and then of course Benacore goes to Tottenham and they just look like shit. So,
Jared, I got you. I see the spam.
Jared. Oh, we got spam. See,
He posted the same thing 3 times, so I got it.
I cannot see the comments, folks, just so you know. I don't know why not. They just don't come up for me. Maybe if I switch this button from private chat to comments, you see what happens. Probably freeze.
That should work.
Huh. There we go.
At that point, I didn't know that you weren't looking at the comments.
No, I never can see them. So then when you bring them up and then you drop them off, I'm like, what the hell? What? I never even got to read that one.
Didn't De La Torre make the?
He was
Dutch
man of the match,
team of the week. Like he was on the team of the week.
I didn't see that on Sunday. He should have been. He was man of the match.
I thought I saw it on Twitter. Not 100% positive.
He scored a goal, folks.
Hey, yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
All right. He scored a goal. And it was a nice little lob over the goalie's head. So it was sweet, too. And they won the game. So there's that.
You're welcome.
What is all this? Now that I can see things, it's kind of distracting.
That's what I'm here for. I can look.
La Liga is a graveyard for U.S. men's national team players. It is right now for Matt Miazga. It is right now for Matthew Hoppe. Moose is doing just fine.
In fairness to Miazga, the handful of games he's gotten recently have not been good.
No.
So
and he didn't play this weekend either. So it's been good for Musa. Conrad's doesn't play there anymore, but he plays in France, obviously. But even when he's with Barca, he didn't get a lot of chances. I'm trying to think of anybody who's just really. Guest is doing pretty good now. He started a couple games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Started at left back, went the full 90. So I don't know if it's a total graveyard, but it's not exactly flourishing. I mean, Germany's obviously the place you want to go if you want to flourish, and you're an American. So, oh man, these just fly by, dude. There was one that I thought was really funny, and now I can't read it. Let me see if I go up.
Scroll up, yeah.
Okay. It was Al Weinstein.
Is Ajax a lateral move for him right now? No, it's better. It's well. I mean, yeah.
It's a bit of a step up. Unless
Ajax is better, but as far as league is concerned, I mean, it's a step up, but not what you'd expect with how well he's playing.
Unless Ajax lose their next game in the Champions League and get bumped before fucking Red Bull, and let's say Red Bull Salzburg takes out Bayern. Let's say that happens. Then it is a lateral move because now he's on a team that got through the next round that didn't get through the next round on the other side in Ajax. Mm-hmm. But I mean, generally Ajax it's a better team. Let's be honest.
So who did you want up?
Huh?
Who did you want up again?
Al Weinstein. You'll love this question. It's for you specifically.
This one?
Nope. Am I allowed to ask flaming hot questions? See? You'll love this one. Thought you'd love this one. Mr. Women's National Team expert.
Expert, please.
Go.
I'm by no means an expert. If you guys haven't read the Hope Solo thread on Twitter, go for it. It's a good read. Shines a different light on what's happening as a whole. I don't know what Lloyd's comments are. I know that she had mentioned earlier, like when she announced her retirement, that the Rapinoe was like a cancer in the locker room or something like that, or whatever. Something along those lines. I think that was Lloyd that said that. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
I don't know. Would Lloyd said that? I don't know. She would say that. Wow. Because
means you're allowed to ask questions. We may or may not answer it to your liking, but we'll answer it as we can. But yeah, Hope's thread. Read it. It's good.
I have to stay out of this because Carly Lloyd is my aunt, and no, I'm just kidding.
You lie.
No, but my aunt is when she was younger, in fact, my parents used to call her aunt. That's your aunt playing. I couldn't remember Carly Lloyd's name. So anyhow, long story short, Jose Lopez, 199. De La Torre scored. How about Leggett? He scored 2. Splash, squirt, cry. I hope that's not
I'm pretty sure that's a.
Is that a bukkake thing?
Probably the squirt you're looking at, yeah, or thinking of.
That's a bukkake thing, I guess. Gross, man. All right. Yeah, no, the De La Torre goal was great. Not only that, he just played really well. So Kevin Paulette says, "Go, Derek." Thank you. I need you to push me forward. Yes, DLT did have a good game. Wow, there's a lot more comments than I thought there are.
Well, yeah, the comments come up, man. I only bring up certain ones.
Okay. I love you, Bill. I always will. All right. Is Legit and Roldan the best midfield duo of the USMNT team? Oh God.
Best ever.
I think if you're going to ask those questions, you better send some money along if we're going to read that. Can't believe Jimmy Conrad said today Legit is the top choice to replace McKennie in the window. I'll give him a call and talk him down, because that's not the answer, Jimmy.
What?
Yeah, that's what this one said. This is Jake. If you go back to,
I think he's making an opinion based off of that game, this home opener or the season opener.
Maybe he's also trying to read Berhalter's mind.
That's possible.
Yeah, but he did say Legit is the top choice to replace McKennie in the window. So yeah. We were different, played totally different positions, so it's not quite fair.
That's the cop out I'm going to take too. Sure.
You know, I'm sure Brett was a much better center forward than I could ever be. But then again, I was 5'11" and Brett's 6'3". So he's going to get a lot more headers than I am. So,
dude, my game as a striker was speed and run onto the ball. I wasn't much of a fancy dribbler by any means. I will dribble at you and take you at pace. That was my game plan.
I will say this: I made it to a state final.
I made it to 3 semi-states and got all state and all state honorable mention.
I don't even think they don't even have those mentioning things back when I played soccer. They didn't even bother with them, so I don't know.
Here's the answer.
The answer's Pete. Could be.
Who knows?
I mean, Pete looks like he's in pretty good shape, and he does play still. He is.
I was gonna say, he could kick my ass right now.
Yeah, he has a league that he plays in, so Pete still plays. What did Hope say this time? I don't know. Hoppy Hope.
It's the top. It's her top thread. Just go to her Twitter handle and look at the top thread.
Okay, I'm not going to right now. That's basically what she suggested in the poll recently. Oh my God, there's some crazy comments in here.
Derek, stop looking at the comments. You're gonna get sucked in.
Okay, I am sucked in.
Let's move along. Let's cover some of the Yanks abroad this week.
You like it better when I don't look at the comments.
Yeah, you're gonna be sucked in.
That's your job. You get sucked in, and then you know that's why you're quieter on these sometimes, because you're like busy looking and reading comments.
I'm color commentary.
And sometimes
you
lead,
you progress it along. I just chime in with some fun facts.
I was like, is Brett even listening to what I'm saying? Because he looks like he's staring off into the abyss. And then you
mean this right here? This look right here?
Yes.
I'm actually looking at the computer screen, not actually at the chat. This would be the chat. And
then I'll be saying something that's really not that funny, and I'll hear in the background. I'm like, the fuck was that? I didn't say anything funny.
Oh, somebody brought up Hope Solo's beef on Twitter.
Which part of her beef?
Okay.
Her beaver? Oh,
there you go.
The sphincter. The sphincter?
The beef curtains, dude. Okay, no. We're moving on.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
Anyhow, on Friday, Sargent went 90.
You're gonna have to bone up on your porn language. Come on, man.
I don't know what that means, beef.
No. Yeah, Google beef curtains.
Oh, beef curtains. I didn't hear curtains. I just heard beef. All right, my bad. I didn't hear the curtains part. All right, so goddamn Zoom. I gotta fix these headphones or something. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're on StreamYard. Okay, so Sargent went 70 or 90 in that loss, but I thought he played pretty well. But he just didn't. There was nothing for him. He just ran around all day playing defense. It was just Norwich.
So
Fuck.
yeah, so Taylor's Berlin America Connor is collecting all the data of Sargent as a wing option or midfielder, and he got some people on Twitter were nice enough to post the heat maps for like all of his games by position and everything like that. And man, the heat map for this last game, he was like where Aaron's should be, like the entire game. It's like beat white, surrounded by some red, surrounded by a little bit of yellow, and then there's just sporadic yellow everywhere else. Like he was basically just sitting right on Aaron's.
Yep, last game, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
He had to play right back for Aaron's because Aaron's didn't know how to play right back. If they can't find a better right back than that, I mean, they should have gone out and got Yedlin because he's an improvement over fucking Aaron's. That guy's a fucking.
Well, at the very least, Yedlin would push up into the attack. Aaron doesn't. He's more of a sit back and
he's a speed threat. There's that.
Yedlin, yeah.
Yes.
Yedlin had a pretty good game for Miami. I'll put that. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah, he did. He played pretty well. I watched that game too. It just seems to me these days when I watch MLS, I watch it, it all blends together in one big massive picture, and I forget everything I watched. It's so weird. I don't know what's going on with me there. Too much weed? I don't know. Justin Shea in the 18 for Hoffenheim, and Richard still injured for Hoffenheim.
He's back to practice at least.
Yeah. Another odd thing, Vasilev did not dress again for the Aston Villa U23s. And yet he's not training with the first team either. This is not looking or sounding good for...
He needs to get out of Aston Villa.
Yeah, he does. Because when he was played last year in Miami, he did pretty well. Mm-hmm. Let's just try to pick some of the bigger guys out here. Haji Wright, people are still interested in, right? So he got like 1 minute. He got 1 minute for Antalyaspor in Turkey. 0-0 tie. Dwayne Holmes, 77 in a win. And, they're in third now. They're in third. So this is looking really good for Dwayne Holmes. He could be playing in the Premier League next season if this keeps up. Tim Ream, another 90 in a win. There was no report on Anthony Robinson. He was not even in the lineup. I'm just guessing they rested him, or he got kicked in the left testicle and he needed a break or something like that. Horvath, 90 in a win, another clean sheet.
It's like Chris knew exactly where you're going.
Yep. And Mighton didn't. He was in the 18. He didn't play. I don't know what's wrong. He came back from injury and they just don't play him anymore. It's like he lost his spot in the roster. But in Horvath, didn't have much to do, but when he had something to do, he did it. So there's that. And with Stefan injured and now Turner injured with the Revs, although I heard Turner's Revs injury is pretty minor, and so is Stefan. So I think they're still okay for the March window.
Sure, we got like 4 weeks until the match.
Yeah, because
we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think they're going to both be fine. Whatever they've pulled or strained, they'll be good to go. Scally versus Brooks. Brooks went 90 in a 2-2 tie. Paredes didn't even dress, by the way, for Wolfsburg. Scally was in the 18, but did not play. So Timothy Tillman for Greuther Fürth went 57 in a tie. Julian Green rode Pine for 90. And I did see that Tactical finally admitted he was wrong about Julian Green, because we have been saying here for a while, Julian Green is...
But at the beginning of the season, it was different. But as the season progressed, our tune also changed.
No, I'd already started at the beginning of the season after the first 3 games with Julian Green. Sure. I was already, this is not going to work. In 2 Bundesliga, he was fine. But this is a step he just wasn't ready to make, obviously.
But Derek.
What?
He scored a goal in the World Cup.
In the year 2008.
14. In the year 2000.
It was a long time ago. Let's put it that way. But anyhow, it was a tie. So there's that. Scally didn't play, and it looks like he's going to really have to bust his butt to get back in the starting 11. Timothy Tillman, we already mentioned, but his brother, Malik, was in the 18 for Bayern versus Frankfurt. but he didn't play, and neither did Jimmy Chandler. Both in the 18 didn't play. We all know McKennie's injured. Toljan, I don't know what's going on with him. That's Sassuolo. We already talked about Luca De La Torre in the prior show, so we don't need to go back into that again. But he got a goal. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Harkes went up against Christian Ramirez. It was Dundee United versus Aberdeen. It went on for 90 minutes. Both of them played the full 90 minutes, but it ended in a tie. So there you go.
You mean both teams played the full 90 minutes?
No, both players.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Shut up. Don't mock me. Are you mocking me? All right. Sebastian Soto, 20 for Livingston. He got to play.
I would hope so, though.
And they won the game. So Livingston, good for you there in the SPL. Matthew Hoppe went up against Musa. The big difference was Musa played for 78.
Did he really?
Whereas Hoppe begrudgingly sat the pine for Mallorca for all 90
minutes. This is a bad joke. This is a bad joke at this point.
Yeah. Man, his agent fucked up. And I still don't understand why.
Why they didn't loan him out?
Why no one has to answer a question about this.
Oh.
The American owners, all the American owners, even the minority owners like Stu Holden and the majority owner. Why do they not have to answer to this?
I just don't understand why Mallorca didn't loan him out. And I know that there's the narrative like, oh, there are no La Liga 2 teams that were interested. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I would imagine there's got to be a La Liga 2 team interested in a loan.
Give me a break. They must have just been asking too much for the loan. Because I can think of La Liga teams in the La Liga who are having a hard time scoring goals that could use Matthew Hoppe. So how easy do you think, this is from Brian DeMarco, how easy do you think it would be for Hoppe to force his way out this summer? Well, he better force his way out somehow, kind of like Jim Carrey forced himself out of that ass of the rhino. Yeah. I mean, you got to get out of there. You know, you do. You just got to get out. That's a rotten place. I mean, you
just
can't
just like the rhino's ass.
I mean, you could even think about it. Usually, you at least have a rotation of forwards, and being that he can play winger, striker, that's 3 players he could be playing for, and he's played midfielder before.
I was going to say
as a midfielder,
he could fill in at the midfield too. I mean, I'd still prefer him up closer to the goal, but
that Mallorca coach, he can suck my cock. All right, there we go. I said it.
And Jared, this happens to be the consensus as well from people we've talked to.
It's the consensus of, I better not say who. I will say this. People very familiar with Hoppe and the practice sessions in Spain with Mallorca all say he is the best striker and forward they have, attacking player they have in practice. So why he doesn't get to play, I don't know. Somebody needs to ask the owner, American owner of Mallorca, a question. Or
at least we can get a comment about it.
Can Stu chime in and give us some idea? If even if Stu says, well, okay, it's the manager's decision and I'm a minority owner and I don't really have that much pull, that's a better answer than just not saying anything. I hope your surgeries are working out, by the way, Stu. He said they were successful, so he's going to be able to walk normal again. We got a new one? No, we already answered that.
This is where I'm just looking at my mouse. No. I went to hide the comment, almost hit in broadcast.
Oh, don't do that.
My mouse cursor is just like freaking out going around the screen like this, and I think it's my dog snoring. She just had surgery today, and she's on some pain pills, so I think it's shaking my desk.
I was on pain pills once. It was awesome.
Once?
I'm not endorsing that lifestyle, but they were good pain pills. Greg Berhalter's puppy, by the way, said, I just looked at Leeds' remaining fixtures, and it seems doable that they survive. They survived this. Lots of easier games, including 3 matches against the bottom 3. Yeah, exactly. It's very doable. This is very doable. Very doable for Jesse. Let's see. Any other important players? Yes, Matt Miazga didn't play. We mentioned that. Chris Durkin, the last 5+ for Truden. No, he went 71. I'm sorry. in a tie. My bad. Fossey continues to play for Bolton, but this time in a loss. They were on a winning streak for a while, so that was kind of disappointing. Nicholas Dossman was in the 18 for the Mainz U19s. I like to report on these U19 players because people don't know they exist. Lucas Tamares, 90 for Hoffenheim's U19s in a win. And Philip Akem went 10 for Hoffenheim's U19s, and he scored in his 10.
Damn.
So keep an eye on those guys. Luca Fava in the 18 for Bochum's U19s. Jonathan Gomez. Don't want to skip him. He went 90 for Real Sociedad's B team. At some point, he's going to have to move out of that B team. Going to have to move out of the B team. Can't keep playing with the B team. I'm glad he went 90. I'm glad they won the game, but got to get out of there. Bello also went the last 15 for Bielefeld. And they're at the bottom of the table, too. What a battle. Wingo, 90 for Ferran Carabao, and Ventura Alvarado and Fernando Arce for Juarez went 31 and 90 respectively. And Arce got a goal. That's Fernando Arce Jr., not the former U.S. men's national team player, Fernando Arce. Or not Mexican national team player. Sorry. Shaq Moore, not in the 18 any days. In the 18, but not playing anymore for Tenerife. It seems like his days there are numbered. Sam Shashua went 45, the last 45. P-Fock went 90. He didn't score, Brett. The hell, man?
It's rigged. It's rigged, I tell you.
P-Fock. You got visitors?
Yeah, my son just walked in. He should be asleep.
Yes,
it's almost 10 o'clock.
It is 10 o'clock.
Whenever we do these shows late, man, I always go out there and he's still just chilling in his bed. Like, dude, it's midnight. You need to be asleep. And then he's pissed off when I wake him up in the morning. Nope.
It's kids, man. That's
Bob Alex is calling you out.
Okay,
you didn't get a goal, but you got an assist apparently.
I didn't see an assist on the stats sheet. I read it. So if I missed it, Bob.
Okay.
And you got it right.
Young
Thank you.
boys.
I mean, appreciate it.
I always feel weird Googling young boys. It's
just young boys, and then what do they have after their name? There's a bunch of letters. BC.
This is against whatever Sion.
Yeah, Sion.
Sion. Yeah.
Or Sion. That works
Whatever.
for me.
Fuck if I know.
I think in Switzerland it is Sion, but I might be wrong. Fuck. Been wrong probably 100 times tonight.
For all the goals, here we
go. By the way,
unless it was a third goal. The third goal doesn't have an assist.
Yeah, I did.
So maybe that could have been it. I guess I don't know.
I guess I didn't see one on the stat sheet. I didn't see one on the highlights. So, Benjamin Walker says Tack would beat all three of you. Probably. He's like 20 years old. He's like 23. I'm 50. Brett's almost 40 years old. Come on. Pete's probably in his early 30s.
I'm clicking on the chat, and the chat's not popping up. I realized I was sitting there on YouTube instead of on StreamYards. Alex says it was assist per Ives. Because, that's foolproof. Nothing against Bob. I did the same thing a lot. I'll mention something and Derek will be like, never happened.
Yeah, it's kind of what I do. I check all the stats every weekend. I mean, I dig in. So I would have caught that if you got an assist.
No, I feel like 97, 98% of the time you're more than safe just going what they say on Ives. Because he gets it right more often than not.
Man, I need to catch up with this discussion. I'm still stuck up there with beef curtains. So let me scroll down. All right, I'll let you pick those.
Perfect timing. Derek got a chub?
No.
Jose Lopez for $4.99. Thanks, appreciate that, man. The Spanish are punishing Hoppy because we broke their unbeaten streak in 2009.
Oh, he means the Confederations Cup.
Yep. It's probably true.
Nah.
I mean, in fairness to Musa was playing for the English team when he first got to Valencia. So there's that. I mean, then you look at Miazga, he's getting punished. Hoppy's getting punished. I think it makes sense.
I don't think it's punishment. Here it is. Here's what it is.
It's a joke.
I know, but I had
it's punishment.
I know. The Spanish guy wrote me. He's like, listen, this is on Facebook. And he's like, the real reason they're having trouble with Hoppy is they don't understand Americans. And like, they're very sensitive. And he's like this kind of outgoing, brash guy. And he said, I think that's probably the culture problem that the coach is talking about. I said, okay, well, I'll take that in consideration.
I feel like they need to grow a pair.
If that's the real problem, they do. For sure.
They can grow a pair regardless.
Man, who do we say needs to grow a pair more than any other player?
Greg Berhalter.
Nope.
I don't know.
Player. Josh Sargent.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about him.
Okay. Pulisic performance in Carabao Cup. Great, except for finishing. But then no one could finish that game.
In fairness to Pulisic, I mean, those are some nice saves. They're reaction saves. He didn't place it well enough, but 9 times out of 10, that's a goal.
But how about his pass to Mason Mount, the little chipper?
Yeah.
That's a goal.
Should have been a goal. And
that's a fucking goal, dude. You can't miss that Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount missed 2 of those, didn't he? Where am I thinking about?
I feel like the entire Chelsea team missed at least 1 or 2 opportunities.
So the Liverpool.
Yes. Mendy was fucking on fire, and I understand the concept of bringing in Kepa at the end for the PKs because Kepa's like the PK guy, I guess. But Mendy was just completely solid for the entire.
Oh, game. He was amazing.
It's completely solid. It would have been hard pressed, even if we had this game plan. Like if we go to PKs, Kepa, you're my man. I would have been looking at a game going like, dude, Mendy's standing on his head. Fuck this, Kepa. Go back to the bench.
It was the craziest 0-0 game I've watched in a while.
Fuck yeah, it was.
I mean, it should have been like 3-3 going into overtime. I mean, it was insane how many great plays, and really Pulisic played really well, I have to say.
I've got to bring up the goal that Lukaku got that got called back for offside. Yep. I hate how pinpoint accurate we're looking at stuff. 90% of his body was completely onside because his hand and maybe part of his shoulder may have extended past the defense. He was called offside. I'm like, I think that's a little harsh because when the line came up on the replay, he was behind it.
Yes,
but part of him wasn't, and I'm just like, come on, that just seems a little harsh.
I mean, Jesus, having a pubic hair over the line.
That's my point. Yes,
it's so ridiculous at this point on offsides.
I guess the problem is you have to set a precedent of one step because otherwise it's gonna be subjective and you're gonna have a bunch of people bitching about it and like why do we even have VAR at that point? So it's like, well, okay, if any part of you's past that line, you're fucked. But I'm just saying that's incredibly harsh.
It is harsh, and I mean, listen, I understand if Lukaku had a giant erection and it was way off sides or something, but that was just minimal shit. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even believe.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean, it is what it is, and that's how they're calling the game. But I think VAR is micromanaging a little too much.
We are getting into such minutia. We're talking about millimeters at this point. It's like playing FIFA or something like that. It's like you just caught
a shoelace is offside.
You called me offsides, and then also, well, FIFA's really bad at this too. Like if you have a player that's offsides but not in front of the goalie, and you shoot at the goal, they'll call that player offsides because they don't fucking know what offsides is in FIFA. They're idiots. They're totally stupid idiots. Yeah. Like you can't get your system to figure out what offsides really is. Yeah.
No, I mean. Again, I thought Pulisic played well. Would have loved if he would have scored one of his couple of opportunities, or at the very minimum got that assist. It was a good performance. Both teams came out and it was a very entertaining game to watch.
I think his rating on FootMob was like 6.3, which is a really underserving
a little low. That'd be
rating. So
I might be biased, but that seems a little low.
Well, all their stuff is just based on straight out statistics.
Fair point.
So they don't have to work. Like they have an algorithm, and so it's not like a rating.
Algorithms, I swear to God.
They come up with. It's the rating the algorithm comes up with based on all the statistics. And I think you have to know sometimes statistics don't tell the whole story. What Pulisic provided in that game was possibly 2 assists and maybe 2 goals. Should have maybe scored on the first one. And the other one, I mean, I don't know how much faster he can run. He just missed it as it crossed over, past him. So
but yeah, no, as far as just the recap of the game itself, again, very entertaining. My son asked, Dad, what team are we? And I go, we're the blue team. And he goes, you mean we're not live? And I go, live? And he goes, LIV.
Live.
And I go, no, we're not live. We're not live, Jackson. We're Che. We're Chelsea. And he goes, is that in China? And I go, no, it's English.
Your son may need some work on grammar because LIV would be live.
Fair point, but he's also like 7 years old, so forgive him.
No, I had a 7-year-old once. I know. And he thought he knew everything. So there you go. That's how that works. They think they know everything at 7. They're pretty stubborn little guys. Conan is great, said Casanova. Conan is great?
The hell are you talking about?
This is back at 9:45.
No.
Oh shit!
Well, we're gonna go with the super chat that I've got pulled up instead.
Have that much shit gone on? Oh my god! Yes,
Derek, you either got to scroll down to the bottom of the chat or click on private chat. And just leave the chat or something.
My comments aren't popping up, and anyhow, and look, more coming. And okay, I'm gonna ignore it. Yes. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna let Brett handle it because anyhow. Jose Reyes, thank you very much for $5.
Appreciate it, man.
The super chat. Thoughts on how we finished the World Cup qualifiers 4-0. Columbus Crew first game of season hopefully kills Zardes. Well, I don't want him to kill Zardes. I just want him to not be called up for the next roster. That's it.
Mm.
No bloody murders, stabbing, or anything. I just hope he doesn't make the team because I don't think he deserves to be there.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he did help create a goal. I'm sure it was an assist in the match, but none of the goals were from him. It was a clear cut. It was one of those chances he was. Did you watch the Columbus Crew game, by the way?
I watched the highlight reel of it. Yes.
So you probably saw this play, but Zardes received the ball like on the 6, facing goal. Ends up having to take a touch and ends up passing it across and gets an assist. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, may not have gone completely like that, but I'm like, you're at the 6 with the ball. That should have been a shot on goal, but it was just like an extra little fiddly touch to try to bring it down or something. It's just blah. But that's not. I mean, it's not a terrible performance, but he did come in late in the game, which strikes me as odd. And I don't follow Columbus, so I don't know the ins and outs and what have you as far as why he didn't start the match. But that could seem promising as far as being called in if he's not starting for Columbus Crew.
Well, and I also noticed the guy covering the Revs game where, Josie's working towards getting back into the thoughts of Berhalter. Zardes play soccer like old people fuck. Kinda. I mean,
as in you don't want to look, but you can't turn away, I guess. I don't know.
No. I'll turn away. And I guess in that way it makes sense because I turn away from when Zardes sometimes has the ball because it's just bad.
I guess. Okay. Finish your part.
I was just going to say, I mean, he's had some games where he's just having magical touches. And I'm like, did he really get better? And then I kind of watched I review the footage and I'm like, that was accident. He didn't mean to do that. But it was a good touch, but he didn't mean to do it. So there's
all right. I'll jump to the response to Zardes old people fucking comment in a second. But to finish this super chat up, thoughts on how we finished the World Cup qualifying. I think we qualify. It's going to be nerve-wracking to say the least. And we've talked about this with Max. We talked about it with Jimmy. Did we talk about this? Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, we did.
But basically, my thought process is it's going to be nerve-wracking and challenging. We haven't won in Costa Rica and we haven't won in Mexico. But if there's ever going to be a time to do so, this cycle is going to be the cycle to do it. So,
yeah,
I know I'm more optimistic than you, but I still think you think we'll qualify.
I do. But you know what? I'd really like to, feel better about it going into the last 3 games. I really like to just feel like confident.
I think we're all just jaded from 2018. Once we qualify for another World Cup, I think we'll go into the next time we have to qualify, we'll be a little more positive.
I'm jaded a little bit by Jimmy Conrad. I mean, not Jimmy Conrad.
Like, what the hell? This is breaking news, people.
No, it isn't. Not by Jimmy, although Jimmy recommending certain
Derek
players
Ritchie tells Jimmy Conrad to fuck off.
Certain players to play that shouldn't play. But Berhalter is the one that has me a little jaded.
Sure.
Greg has me a little jaded. I'm just not confident if the shit hits the fan, he's going to have the scraper to take it off the fan. And, shit could hit the fan, especially if we lose to Mexico. Then the shit has hit the fan right there. Bam! And it's just on the fan. The fan's running. That shit's nasty. And it's stuck to that fan frame. And you can't get that shit off the frame. So, yeah. Now I'm nervous. Now I'm really nervous because that air ain't flowing out of that fan. And when it does, it's just putting shit smell all over the room. So somebody's got to be there to scrape it off and make it all good again. And I hope Greg's ready to do that because and I know Mexico, they're not going into that game to lose because Tata's not going into that game to lose because if he loses that game, he is majorly fucked. And so are the Mexican national team.
Well, I guess in fairness, none of the games that we beat Mexico this cycle, they've gone into it expecting to lose. And I think that plays into our benefit. So, and we've talked about this ad nauseum before, but
yeah.
Sorry, I just was entering another dimension there, apparently. Thanks, camera.
All right. We got
Bob Alex says, as in Zardes takes balls off the face like old people.
Yeah. But at least they're consenting adults.
There you go. That may be the longest shit metaphor I've ever heard.
Yeah, that was off the cuff. Sorry. Next. We're going to take some questions and end this fucker, Chris. We're almost at an hour here. What else we got?
We have actual questions. So,
oh boy, oh shit. By the way, McKennie didn't play for Genk. That should be noted. He didn't even dress. And Reynolds,
McKenzie,
Mark McKenzie. Sorry.
Just say Mark and Weston from now on.
I know that's what I started doing with Jedi. And Miles, just using their first names, although that's not his real first name, Jedi.
Might as well be.
Odasawi didn't play for Club Brugge. He wasn't even in the 18, didn't dress. But Sam Vines and Antwerp still lost to Bruges 4-1. It was an ass kicking. And by the way, there is another American named Joe Effort playing in the Scottish Premier League. And he played for Vaslin Beveren last season. And he now plays for Motherwell, which is one of the better teams, is kind of traditionally one of the better teams in the SPL. And he went 45 in a 2-2 tie versus James Sands and Rangers, who didn't play. CCV got 90. Chris Mueller got 30 for Hibs. They went 1-1. They finished 0-0 tie. Busio played 80. Tessman came in for the last 10. So I'm just trying to sum this shit up so people know. EPB went 70 for Troyes in a 1-1, I guess. Yes. We already mentioned Conrad Wea in another segment, but Adams went 60 in a win, but he didn't look really good. So getting kind of nervous about that. I'm not nervous for us. I'm just like, I want him to have a starting spot. But go ahead, Brett. I'll let you read that.
Thank you for making me pronounce this last name.
Oh, I'll do that.
At Sethland.
Seth Andrzejewski. That's how you say that. Andrzejewski. Andrzejewski.
Right.
Seth Andrzejewski.
So, thoughts on the need to have a national team home stadium, i.e. USA Wembley, and or training center? Is it necessary? Where should it be? Should there be regional centers instead of just keep rotating games?
You could do regional centers, but that's expensive. But I think in the intern and going forward, I don't think we should have a national home stadium, because if you make that, like, let's say you make it, I don't know, pick something, Seattle. Well, that sucks
It's
for
a
the
hell of a
rest.
flight for everybody else.
That sucks for the rest of us. So no, I think you got to keep switching home stadiums.
So I guess the thing to consider, since you brought up USA Wembley, is I literally just saw a reaction video to the size difference between Great Britain and the United States
and California,
and they broke down a bunch of stats and stuff in comparison. And they talked about how New England, which is encompasses a handful of states, is actually bigger than Great Britain as a whole, and we're talking about a small portion. California, nothing.
Texas, they're all bigger.
The point being is we are a large nation, and I'm talking about the size of the country, not the size of the people. But we are a large nation, and we're spread out, mainly coastal cities, some in cities, and it wouldn't make any sense to have a national team home stadium. Now, if you want to do a training center, like if you're going to be doing a bunch of like an immediate away game or whatever, they did that with Orlando. I think it was Orlando they did that at.
Yeah, we're pretty smart about that. For a handful
of camps consistently. Yeah. And they obviously do it at LA, depending on where they're going to.
Yeah.
Training centers, if you want a focal point to start off a window or any window, not just World Cup qualifying, but even a friendly window. If you want a focal point to start off at, that's perfectly fine. But as far as a home field, no, because if it's in Seattle, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to be going to a U.S. men's national team game, because I'm not going to. I mean, occasionally, maybe once in a while, but it's too much. It's too far. I mean, it's a 6 hour flight. I'll go to Cincinnati. I'll go to Colorado, Chicago, anywhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's a 6 hour flight, and like you said, England. I mean, compare it to California or Texas, it's just small. So they can do that. Like, you can drive from one part of England to the other part of England in 6 hours.
You could just jump into a train, a couple hours there.
One of the speed ones?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not a steam-powered engine, but
a locomotive.
2 guys going like this the entire time.
But yeah, it's a lot easier. I mean, traveling for a game to like Wembley would be like me driving to Chicago, and I'm in Bloomington.
Well, and it was funny because the video I was talking about how they were comparing the size differential. The guy actually lives here in Anderson, Indiana, but he's from England, and he's like, before I moved to the United States, my travel for my job was like a 40-minute travel, and that was considered a long distance travel in England.
Yes,
for a job.
Is. Yep.
But then, I mean, 40 minutes is, Anderson to one part of Indianapolis, So
yeah,
same concept in the sense that it's just we're too vast. We're too vast to have a one centralized location.
Yeah, there's no way that's going to happen, and it would hurt the revenue, because what you want to do is excite all the regions and have games in those regions and fill the stadium. So. Yeah, Jose, I wouldn't do crack. I wouldn't do crack. Try to stick to natural shit. Now, I know that crack is just basically cocaine in little rock form, but I mean, even cocaine's better than crack. So, I know it's more expensive, but I wouldn't do crack. I wouldn't do cocaine anymore. Been there, done that. Loved it, but it's not something you should do on a regular basis. I know you're kidding, though. All right.
Alcohol is my poison, so I'm fine with that.
Brett's segregating, and he's like, I'm not with this guy. This guy down here, he's the drug guy. But I was in a band for 30 years. Man. Come on.
Man, I got a massive high off some aspirin earlier, man. So
I was in a band for 25 years. You got to cut me some slack, okay?
That's fair. I mean, I don't judge. I've never done any of it, so.
We did it all. So I can
I've got 18 years of secondhand smoke in my lungs. I don't need to add any more to it.
I got 25 years of firsthand smoke in my lungs.
I always joked around about like I'll be the one that happens to die from lung cancer, never having touched a cigarette or a joint or anything.
Nah, you'll be fine.
No, I'll be. I guarantee I'll be fine. I always joke around about it.
Yeah, I'll be the one going down here in the next 20 years.
Casanova says sugar is his poison.
Yeah, I like sugar on my barbecue. I like using brown sugar specifically.
Sure.
Okay.
That's one of the main staples of barbecue sauce.
It better be.
Yeah.
Zach Casey. It seems in games we are tied or losing, we tend to lack offensive sparks off the bench that can get a goal/assist. Do you think the unpredictability in Hoppy Conrad's game may be more useful than guys that know the system coming off the bench? Well, I mean, it could be, but
yes,
I mean, we're talking about Greg. Greg wants people who know the system.
Taking Greg out of the equation, yes.
I mean, listen, Conrad's in a tough spot right now. So let's see how that works itself out. He didn't play this weekend.
But saying that, do you think if he entered the field in the 60th or 65th, 70th minute, that he could apply more pressure and add more offensive spark and creativity than, say, Roldan or Leggett?
Yes.
Same thing for Hoppy. Yes.
Yeah.
The answer to that is yes. Now, mind you, they
Yes.
play different positions. So I guess that'd be the difference between, say, maybe Morris and Areola in those two particular players that we talk about.
I still like Morris.
I still like Morris, too. I mean, he's a very direct style player, and sometimes you need that direct style.
Yeah.
You don't need to fiddly fuck all around the field. You just take it right at him. You know, if you get a cross off, you get a cross off. If you get past the guy, you get past the guy. It happens.
Good on you with the fiddly fuck.
I pay attention.
All right. We have more?
Yeah.
By the way, Christian Kappas played on Monday, today. And for Brøndby, he went 10 in a win. And on the other team, the Sanderjiski, who Haji Wright used to play for, is now an American named Jose Galagos. And he played 10 minutes as well in the loss. But he's a former San Antonio USL guy. I was like, okay, there's a guy making a jump or trying to, make a jump. So we'll see how that works out for Jose. What else we got? If they are,
this is by Tactical.
I want them to describe Berhalter ball using no more than 10 words. Easy.
I told Tactical that I will not describe Berhalter's balls.
He didn't say balls. He said ball.
Are you saying that he only has one ball?
Yes, like Himmler. Well, okay, one ball.
So that's why he doesn't have. That's why he doesn't have any to give up to change anything. It's like, this is my system. I don't have the balls to try something new.
By the way, I wasn't comparing Berhalter to Himmler, just to be clear. They're both German heritage, but Berhalter does have two balls, so we got to go on that. If you don't want to describe one of them, Brett, that's on you. But I will describe his play style. I've got less than 10 words. You ready?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah, you ready? Okay. Constipating, robotic, formulaic, life draining, spirit killing.
I was thinking more along the lines of what Bob says here. Something like where you actually come up with a sentence describing it. Ring around the outside, passy pass. I agree 100% with what you said. Those are great descriptors.
Yes.
I would say overly complicated, yet easily predictable.
All right, I will put it in a sentence. You ready?
Larf.
Here it comes. Here's my sentence. This is it. Since I'm an English major, I made it into a sentence. It seems constipating, robotic, formulaic, life draining, and spirit killing. Period.
There you go.
That's
Winning.
a sentence. There you go.
I think Jose wins.
Old and white probably touched the floor. Oh my god! I thought they get more purple as you get older. I don't know. Maybe they're white. They're a little redder than the rest of the body.
That was my response attack.
Yeah. By the way, Bofa de Ligma said cancer. A great one.
Cancer's a great one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We all know McKennie didn't play for obvious reasons, but I did want to mention that Ty Walker played for 45 for Kaiserslaughter's U19s, and he scored. And they won the game 1-0. So Ty Walker, keep an eye on him. All right.
Why did you bring up McKennie?
Because he didn't play. I just want to make sure some people know he's injured. He's injured. He's not playing because he's injured. And I think
next 2 to 3 months, guys.
Yes.
Don't expect any McKennie updates.
I might say this every couple weeks just to remind people, because there are guys that tune in, they'll watch this show, and they're like, "What about McKennie?" They're like, "McKennie's been injured. What do you mean? What about McKennie?"
Yeah.
And
I guess in fairness, you on a week to week basis, you say Horvath sits on his Horvath. So
yes,
fair enough.
So you got to just keep bringing it home so people understand, because some people tune in like a few times a month. That's about it. Mm-hmm. Berliner Amerikaner. Yes, Taylor, you're there. Transfer, bench and start, all prime. Ronaldinho. What? We got to transfer, bench, and start one of these guys? Ronaldinho, Maradona, Zidane. Wow.
This is tough.
This is really tough.
I'm just going to go with my first instinct here. I'm going to transfer Maradona. I'm going to bench Ronaldinho and start Zidane.
I'm going to start Zidane too. And I'm going to bench Maradona and bring him in the second half. And then, Ronaldinho. That dude drank more champagne than I have in my life. And he's like half my age. Ronaldinho? Like he had like...
Fabulous player, though.
He was for 5 years, right?
Up until he transferred back to whatever. Where's he playing?
He went to AC Milan, didn't he? After Barcelona, and he was a fuck up. He was
he was fine there.
He's okay there.
I mean, he wasn't himself from Barcelona days, but he was still dangerous in Serie A.
Dude, that dude had at least 10 years of amazing play in his body, and he made 5 years out of it because he partied all the time. He and Eddie Murphy party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. That dude looked hungover half the time they took photos of him. So there you go.
That was my response.
Ooh, I like this one. Thank goodness it wasn't Mary Farka Kill. Yeah, I'm not farking any of those guys. None of them. But if a gun was put to my head, I probably that's a tough one. I'd probably Farka Zidane. Like if a gun was at my head.
All right, well.
Are we done?
Stop the sharing there. I'm just going to look at one. I need to back up because this is that was too close.
Men, fuck that dude that got McKennie injured. Me and my homies don't fuck with that foo. Okay. That's more Jose Lopez. He's getting all gangsta up in our shit here. He's going to go beat up the guy who had injured McKennie. Hey, we don't recommend violence. Although that was a violent tackle. It was not a good tackle. That's for sure.
Bofa de Ligma. Says Ronaldinho greater than Zidane.
I mean, heights wise, like the best they ever were. Yeah, sure. Not consistency over time. Zidane was a much better player consistently over time than Ronaldinho. And Zidane was focused on the game. I mean, that was his life.
I mean, outside of 2006 finals.
I mean, when When Ronaldinho was at his best, he was amazing. There's just no doubt about it. Zidane was just good for a lot longer. What do you guys
think of Vargas? He's freaking 16. Is that the 16-year-old kid from Seattle? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Am I spacing this now?
He's only 16. 16.
Somebody in the chat, help us out.
Yeah. Which Vargas? There's a Vargas in...
Hey, you in here?
There's a Vargas in Mexico, too. playing for a U14 team for one of the Liga MX teams. His last name's Vargas. So I need a little more direction than that. Like, can you give me a first
There you
name?
go. I got this. Yes. So I'm assuming that's the 16-year-old kid from Seattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, haven't seen a lot of them, so it's kind of hard to say. I mean, he played that one game
There we go.
in CONCACAF Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was okay, about 16. Man, yeah, that's quite an achievement for his age.
I was going to say he definitely didn't look out of his element by any means.
Mm-hmm.
So, props to the kid. I hope he has a very successful career in Seattle. I mean,
yeah, let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that kid for sure. I mean, we need all the help we can in midfield going forward. I mean, not that we don't have Musa, McKennie, and Adams, but you know, injuries start happening. We got De La Torre as a backup, but after that, it gets a little thin. So it'd be nice to see some young up-and-comers make a case for themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. We are almost, once again, an hour and 20 minutes almost into it. For next 2 minutes, if you guys got anything that you want us to cover real quick, let us know in the chat.
Oh my God,
we'll hammer out real quick.
Why do these hour shows end up to be an hour and 16 minutes?
It's consistent. It's weird how that worked out every single time.
Yeah, 10:30.
It's always good thing we got that first segment done first, beforehand.
No kidding. All right. I don't have much else out. I mean, except for Emmanuel Sabi played 60 minutes for OB in a tie. Sinogo went 86 for Union Berlin's U19s. Didn't score, though. Novakovic, 34 in a loss for Frosinone. And here's the thing. They've been losing and losing and losing and losing, just like they did last year, where they start off with a bang, they're way up the table, and then at the end of the season, when they're in the promotion zone, they just start fucking losing.
You're saying they blow their load early.
Yeah. And by the way, Alex Mendez, 20 for Vizela. So he's lost his starting spot for Vizela. That's 3 games in a row, I believe. Reggie Canning, 90 at right center back for Boa Vista. Tyler Boyd scored a goal for Rizzaspor.
How are they doing?
They're still at the bottom of the table. He scored and they lost. So they're still going down. Yep. Caleb Stanko went 90 for PAS in Greece. They're still in the promotion zone in Greece. So there you go. I'm not in the promotion zone. They're in the top 4. Fuck, they're already promoted.
I guess real quickly, just to cover Chicago a little bit more. Brian Gutierrez with the U20s, he ended up getting another 20 minutes or so with Chicago in the the season opener. Slonina killed it at goalkeeper. Made some big saves. It looked good.
It's crazy that he played. It's just, I mean, I don't know what else you guys got, but
it's insane.
A 17-year-old keeper.
Chris Brady's another 17-year-old goalkeeper. He's our second. So we have 2 17-year-old goalkeepers. Now, mind you, there were rumors that Chris Brady was going to gathering some interest abroad.
We saw that. I mean, that's 2 high school aged players playing as starters and backup for Chicago. But it's MLS. If you're going to spend money on the spine of your team, your center forward, your center midfielder, and a center back. But don't spend your money on goalkeeper. We've seen a lot of teams do that over the years, and it's just a waste of money because they don't end up being that great anyhow, or better than the domestic talent. You're laughing? What's going on?
I just got a notification. Alex Weinstein.
Yep.
He said, straight red card bringing beef curtains into the fold this eve. That's how you get people excited.
I don't know if anybody saw those photos of Mrs. Solo, but they weren't a turn on. I'll just put it that way. All right. I think that's acceptable to say.
Yeah. All right, Eric. My city in Arkansas is rumored to get a USL team, and I'm pretty pumped. Should be. Be great. It's always great to see live games.
I'm not sure what pump you're using, but yeah, go for it, dude.
Is it the Swedish penis pump? I've heard that has great results.
I never got I never understood penis pumps. It's like, why would I spend my money on that? I'm perfectly capable
of jerking your own.
Yeah, of course. I'm not like anyhow. Yeah, I've got all my limbs. I'm good to go. Are we done here?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, good.
All right, guys.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandmother, as usual. Thank you for tuning in, as usual, and all your support as we move forward. And go back to that weekend show. I know weekend shows do shit all the time for us, but we had a good one with Max Bretos. It's worth watching.
The final couple minutes is gold. Pure comedy gold. I feel like I might have to clip that if it doesn't get more views.
Yes, it is. It's awesome. Do watch that. It's not even that long. It's like 25 minutes long. And if you have some problem with Max Bretos, I guess don't watch it then. But, we got him to open up. I thought we had a great conversation. My wife just said, "What?" I am like, this is a soccer show. It is. So sorry, Blako 911, if we said something. I just a real
Oh man.
That's A, gross, and B, I don't know where you're getting those big ass cucumbers, because that's gonna take a lot of work.
Certainly
at least
not,
for me.
Certainly not the English style cucumber.
I mean, that's a lot of work. And you got to find a big fucking cucumber, too. All right.
Oh, man.
I mean, better off to just get a Pringles can and put some soft shit inside of it and use that. That's probably a better option. Was that a Pringles? That was a Pringles commercial, I guess I just did there. Pringles. Eat the chips.
Once you pop.
Eat the chips, use it for later.
You just can't stop. That's right.
All right.
Jose answered it.
Good for you, dude. Less effort, less work. Carving out stuff sucks. Are we done?
Yeah. All right, guys.
We love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Hit that notification bell when you get the chance. Stay up to date with all of our content. And
here comes the ending part.
Yeah. It's going to be here anytime now.
Don't
worry. Do it again. Ah, fuck. And like it. That's way too many likes. I got to comment on a channel. Fuck. Oh.
Thank you for watching The Straight Red Card. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. Your grandma is probably about as old as I am. Seriously, she probably is. Again, thanks for supporting the show. Let's keep kicking it on down the fucking road. Good night. That hurt.